Okay. So I let my clock had come on real quick, and it said 2:34. I was like, oh, that's what time I started yesterday, but right now 2:56. As I was drinking a cup of tea and I was looking at some TikToks. The very first one I saw, I almost cried. I was just watching it, watching it. It had 1,000 bands all got together and played. I don't know how many songs they played, but this was um, uh, oh my God. How does it just go right through my head? Seven Nations, uh, one, One Voice Army, something like that. But the words of the song, how we're standing up, the Seven Nation Army, we're standing up to I just really went. And this was interesting too, because this girl, I saw this yesterday, and I thought, this is what I've been saying for a couple years. Like, I don't remember, it was some show that came on, Unusual People or something, and there kept being like strange, unusual people. It kept popping up, and it kept being like this kind of stuff. And so I said that back then, I think it was a couple years ago. But I saw this girl say it, and I was like, see, that's what I think. And it's a commercial for something. And the girl who is the person in the commercial, she's super, super dark skinned, for one thing. And the other thing, and she has this really long hair, and she has elf ears. And so this paranormal chick who was talking about the commercial, she's like, it's just kind of weird. It is almost like they're trying to like get us ready for something. Like they're trying to help us open our minds for it, to be more accepting. That's what I've been saying for a long time. And, this is all about the acceptance. So, because, you got to you have to give the same respect to an energy outside of an incarnation, outside of any kind of vessel, as you do a a puddle that's moving around, that is a conscious energy. Anything that is, it's like you got to, like, realize what you are, kind of. That's kind of what's going on here. But I saw a couple of videos. I had to stop watching that. I was about to start bawling, but I did see it through the whole thing. But my nose was tingling. It was really, really cool. And just the power and the words and everything was just like, it was like, fuck, this is the energy, man. This is the energy right now. We're standing up for fucking, and I got so many things about it, you know. I've got like, oh, fuck. It's like, okay. Okay. So let me think. Okay, so let's start with, now all of a sudden, okay, that one's got, so start over. It's just like all of a sudden, just like, fuck. I thought I'm talking about this, and all of a sudden it's just like somebody just threw down a bunch of files on the table. It's like, fuck, dude. Oh, okay. So this one lady who I wanted to talk about, because it was just what I was just talking about yesterday. And Anne is something I talk about all the time because it's like a twofer. So she was saying that she got, I don't remember what she called it, a download. She didn't say download. There's another thing that a lot of people say. I can't remember what it is. But so she got one of those things, and she needed to share it. She needed to talk about it, but she needed to explain how the communication went so you would understand how she understood. See, that's what I was saying. And I'll tell you how it was that she said, but so you can start to understand what I'm saying is like, everybody feels like they have to explain, like we all need evidence. Where's your source? Where did you get your information? Well, my gut. And this is something that I have done through my life and been laughed at. So that is why, but we're shifting now. So you got to get comfortable with it because they're shifting in that direction where people are going to be like, You know, like for me, I'm comfortable with it. I've been doing it my whole life. But for people who are just trying to learn about it, then it's, you know, it's a big shift in how you have to trust yourself and stuff. So this lady, she was saying that they had showed her this hall of like candles. She said it was just like lines and lines and lines of this candlelight going up the hallway. And she knew that the candlelight represented all the souls. And she said that then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of the candles went out, and she knew that meant that there was about to be a mass occurrence. And see, anybody who's really spiritual doesn't want to say, because there is no real death. That is an illusion. That is something they make up. It's just a leaving the game. I mean, we got to come up with something else to call it, because that other word gives people such a feeling of finality. It's over. You know, like I failed. I didn't make it. I didn't wear my seatbelt enough. You know, like it just is a defeated. But that's the way they set this whole fucking place up. So, but anyways, so she was not wanting to say that, and she was not wanting to spread fear. And she was saying, you know, as this, you know, when you're spiritual, you understand what's going on, and you understand this has to happen. Like it just has to. Like it's just the way it has to be. That's what I keep saying. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing. It is like it's a part of the learning, and everybody's playing different parts. And we don't. I mean, I think, you know, I feel the part I'm supposed to play, but this is going to unveil to us all what our parts are. So, you know, we just got to see how it's going to go down. But so she was saying that they showed her all these candles going out, and she knew what they meant, because this is how they know how to talk to you. Your communication is your singular communication, because they have reference. Your reference is how they communicate. Like they use all of your ideas and symbol, everything for communication, because it's the more you understand. And so so she was saying, you know, she wouldn't try to scare anybody. This has to happen. There's nothing that we can do about it. And, you know, and then it's a cycle too. It's, you know, it's not like we did something wrong and now we're being punished. This is how it gets in people's heads. No, it's a cycle. It's always going to go this way. And we're souls, and we go where we want to go, and we're here for a reason, and we came here for this, and we're not scared in our core, even though our body, our vessel, our vehicle keeps responding to the fear stimulation and giving us the illusion that we're scared. But that's where we have to talk to our soul. We have to keep ourselves in check, keep reminding ourselves, I'm not of this world. This isn't my world. This is a pretend world. We've all created this world so we can play a game because we're bored, I guess. And it is, but it's so much more than that, because it expands the universe. It is the growth of the universe. Like, we have no choice, because we are the creators. We're the growth. We are the movement that it has to go. So yeah, we're not scared to come in and do this. It's and it's not even like we're really going into something. We're going into a thought. It's so trippy how we can go in and share experiences and stuff. And so anyways, she was saying that all these candles were going to go out, and you know, it was going to be intense or whatever. And she said, I knew what they meant, because when my mom got sick, they showed me this hall of candles, and they showed me her candle, and it kept wavering, and it kept getting like really weak, and it wasn't strong. And I knew that meant she was sick and she was dying, and then she died. And so that's what I'm saying, is like, different people's communication will make no sense to you. So if they're sitting there explaining where they got it, be like, oh, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. No, we have to learn to respect everybody's fucking transmissions. Everybody, because it's It's your communication. It's your transmission between the other energies. And it's all on frequency. You're dialing in all the time. Like, who are you listening to? Are you down here listening to that it's funny because it is kind of like the dark energy, the attachment energy that will get down there and they'll sit there and feed you stuff, it's just like pop music or something, and because it's really toxic for you. And oh, what was that? That was something that I had seen the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, people think blah blah blah, but that is so fucking toxic for you. It's like the more that you understand about our bodies, our frequency, all of this stuff, the more the more information that makes it changes. Like you're having to refile information, you know what I mean? And so when you're gathering of reference, and then, you're, because we've been lied to so much, and you're having to expand your library and, go through the information and update the files, move them around, change them up a little bit. That's like necessary for the whole thing because of all the lies about who and what you are. And that people have been so mind trapped. Man, that's so tricky. These people are so tricky. But see, the soul is wanting to witness itself. It's wanting to understand itself. And it's playing all different parts and stuff. So, I don't know. We just can't get as hung up on the stuff. Like, it's so easy to get so hung up and so caught up. And it's so, man. Fuck, it's such a fucking clusterfuck right now. Fuck. And the thing that really, really just stands out to me so, so strong over and over and over is, this is everywhere. Like the fucking Philippines, Vietnam. What's the deal with Syria? Like, what is it? Like, and I don't even know now with the Lebanon. Like, you don't even know which places have been overtaken, which places are under siege by these people. And then they get their little gangster group army fuckery, and then they call them different names in different places, and then they use them to control the people and push them back. Like the law officers, those are, it's the illusion of giving us, like, it's like the illusion of voting or something. But the truth is, we're strong-armed, we're controlled by violence, and it is hard. It's like, it's so weird to be, this vehicle, and in my heart is not this vehicle. And but and I know it's a part of my experience, I know it's a part of all of this stuff. And I've been watching because this is going on everywhere. It's going on even in Russia. But Russia, seems that they have given the indigenous their territories. I don't know how much throughout time, because the ones I've seen talking, like, start following different indigenous groups and stuff. The ones I've seen talking, that they have been pushed back and throughout the time. So it's basically the same thing they did in America a couple hundred years ago, supposedly. I think it was more like 150 years ago or something. Is that they came to the lands, which there's a whole fucking weird thing about. This is Israel over here. When you go in and you listen to all those different things, like, I can't repeat all these people's stuff. You just got to go out and listen. And, through the hidden history stuff, the stuff about our maps, all the people who are just, researching and digging into all this stuff and then sharing all this information, and they show you, resources and stuff like that. But when you're going with your gut instinct, Like, don't feel like you have to explain to somebody how your visions work and stuff. Even though I'm sitting here doing like, oh, they just came in and dumped a bunch of files on my thing. But I'm trying to help you to get a focus in your mind, to start creating the story in your head, minding your manner, going in your Starship Enterprise, start giving it uh, uh, roles, start to understand it, because you are, you're all dialing into these frequencies, and you want to dial up into the higher frequencies. But the thing is to get up there, you got to do some healing. So that's why it all goes together. It's not like, there's something wrong with you or whatever, but but that's what you're here for. That's why you're here. That's, you're here to do that. You're not here to just try and be famous and, sell other people's products and, drive fast cars and shit. You're here to grow and learn and, become a part of something. So this, okay, because now I've got two things. Because I want to tell what that lady, okay, so I did tell what that lady said. Okay, so back on the ones in Russia, so they were pushing them back. So like when they landed here, like what I said, it was like and this all comes from the crown in the fucking church. Like the nucleus of all of this stuff. It's like the main branches is science, the church, and the crown. These in governing the rulers, but it's these people who became the corporations, the controllers, the it's this group of people, and when you go back and back and back and back, when you keep dialing back from where we are and go back, but this is what gets so trippy, is the age is like 26,000 years. And this time that we're dealing with is so much smaller. And so it's so strange. It's like things just don't go together like what we think. It's not linear like we think. Even in this concept of 26,000 years, it's more like 26,000 storylines, 26,000 movies at the theater or something. And, all the different choices that you make to experience is what becomes who you are, is your expansion of your DNA, your lessons, your learning and stuff. And so, but that is like the head of the beast. And so when you go back to like the, and I don't know where it all fits in, how, because like if you go listen to Mateus Stefano on Initiation on the Guy channel, he talks about the beginning in Atlantis and stuff. I think he gives you so much reference. I think he is really a good person to go and listen to if you're trying to understand some of this stuff. But it's all about the souls and perspective. But so when they came and they started doing what they were doing here, because this place has been they just found a petrified book in like fucking Georgia or something, that they have marked to be like 30 million years old. They can't even open it or anything like that, but a book. So it's like part of our reality of awakening is realizing these layers of realms and realities is something we can just cross right through. We're giving it a division because of the focus, like of making our movie the only movie happening. But they're all happening. And they're all, it's so layered. And it's like, this is something cool that I've seen in movies, is in like like if I went and I put something out in the yard, and then somebody fucking in another realm, in another existence, went out and got it, and then left me something, and we started this back and forth thing, but we're in two different realms. I always think that is so cool how they show that. And it is based on your frequency. So the space we're it is like, man, it's so hard to, like, you can see it. You got to work on your communication. I'm telling you, because when you see it, it just is like, you don't need to explain it. It's like trying to explain it is where it gets hard, because it's kind of like that gradation. It's kind of like that whole thing in the way it all goes out and spreads, and in the way it's all linked, in the way it all morphs in the way it's always going, in the way that's what we are. Like, it's so trippy. So, anyways, so in this age, what we're trying to think of is 26,000 linear years, which I think it's not like that. But in this part that we have, in this part that we're experiencing with this duality and Jesus and all of that stuff, all the things that went on, because it's trippy, is because like the Roman Empire or something, that is under a different age. That's like under the age of Leo or something. So, I'm not an astronomer, astrologer, or any of the star expert at all. I'm just picking up on all the stuff that I go out and listen to from all these different people. And so maybe I'm misinterpreting right there, if I sat and talked to expert astrologers, they say, oh no, it's blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be like totally enlightened. So, but from what my knowledge is and my understanding at this point, that is how that's how I acknowledge it. That's how I identify it, translate it. So, this part where we're, I know it has to do with black and white and stuff. That's why it's so much about, the poles. It is like recognize them, but also recognize they all go around. Like if you took the poles, they're touching. It all goes around. You just get stuck on the looking at the poles. You spread them apart, and your focus changes how you look at it. That's why perspective is what matters. It's making yours all encompassing and looking at more things and trying to see more things. So but what I have been talking about with how they came over here, and this is still going on. I mean, was happening right in Hawaii while we were watching it go down, and all of these people who are pushing the indigenous people back, the native people to this lands. And so it's kind of like, so where they had that Homo sapien, hold on. Okay, so I don't know if this is accurate, but so when they had the Homo sapien and the Neanderthal, so back in then, and I don't know all their descriptors and stuff, like, fuck these scientists, because they're still messing with us, like, who knows what the fucking hell they call us. And so they that's why they're trying to get patents on people, because they fucking think they own us, because they fucking mess with us so goddamn much, fuckers. And we're the ones that survive their shit. So the people, okay, so the people who are more native, they were the ones who are more connected, like through melanin and stuff. They were here, like what they used. It's like they're less They're the native to the lands. Is like, they may have done some stuff to try and mess with their DNA and stuff to try and make them be more, like where they say they made them out of animals and stuff, but the humanoids all look like the indigenous people here. So that is what they look like. And so the this, the lighter skin, I think is something with them trying to take the melanin out, because they don't want that connection, that spiritual connection. So they've been actively trying to remove it. And that is, part, I mean, they do weird shit like put fucking sew on some fucking frog on, like that fucking, watch that goddamn movie Walrus. God, I can't believe how many fucking movies there are about the goddamn mad scientists. It's like our fucking life. And it's in so many movies, but there's a movie called Walrus. It's like, that's what these people are like. And so this, her stomach is growling, her stomach's going crazy, she's not feeling good at all. And so they're, whatever they're trying to do, but so it kind of, why these people think like they're the chosen people, like they think they're different and better, it is more like they came from outer space. It's more like they were hybrids or something. So there's this difference. There's a difference of the natural people, whatever it was that they tried to, use to turn more, but the evolution is more of a science. It's not just like, we don't just turn from monkeys into people. This is something I used to say all the time when I was younger, because when people would try and say that about evolution, I say, how does that make sense? Why wouldn't we be seeing it right in front of us? Why wouldn't we be seeing things evolving like that? It doesn't make any sense. There was somebody putting a hand in it. But I also, I had these beings that were telling me all that kind of stuff. So, but I would try and tell people, and I would always be the one who was like laughed at, like, "God, you're a crazy person. Where do you think you're coming up with that?" Well, they told me. Oh, really? Who? So it's just so funny, that now I'm sitting here making this whole channel talking about, our conversations. And now it just, I don't know, it's just the whole thing is surreal. It's weird. So, okay. So anyways, when they, so that messing with the people has gone on for so long, but there's distinct tribes. Like there's distinct DNA and like what they put in. And somewhere along the way, something to do with this science experiment thing has to do with all of the different people coming together. And I don't know if there's whole groups that are not able to do this, like certain groups that think that we all have to be under certain people, and they want to use violence. And and I know it's not all of the people. That's why it's an individual soul thing. That's why you're not a group. That's why you gotta, don't, even in a religious group and stuff, there's just a big difference. And everybody in that gray, everybody's gradients is at different amounts. And your amount of your gradients, it depends on your learning, your understanding, your incarnations, how much you've expanded your mind of who you are. So it's your expansion is your understanding. And so so there is like a difference. There's like the natural, there was people who were here that they messed with, but then there's something else. And those people, I think, are these ones that, like, I don't want to say, but it is like, they're lighter color, but they don't consider themselves to be white people, because white people is really like, we're going to take the melanin out of these people. We're going to give them no identity, no heritage. We're going to make them not like themselves. Like, it's the whole thing. Like, what we're, our experience, what we're going through. And, yeah, every group is having its own experience. And, so you know, and a lot of people who are darker have to come into their own. They've been so beat down. And this is what is happening in all these tribes. And when I keep hearing this, and it's going on everywhere, every fucking where, still going on. And it going and taking these people's lands and stuff. Like, what's going on in the fucking strip, man? Fuck, dude. And half those people are kids. Like, it's fucking Lord of the Flies, man. Like, what the fuck, these people. And then they always blame, oh, it's them, oh, it's them. We know who it is. It's your fucking hired fucking strong-arm motherfuckers who are there to crush our souls and our existence. And then you just want to blame somebody else because you got to keep us all fighting with each other. And you got to keep even people not involved over here fighting about these people's problems over there. So it's fucking, they can spread their fucking hate and violence. But we're the spreaders, the super spreaders. So anyways, they come, you know, they fly in on their ships. They fucking come in on their ships in their fancy uniforms and carrying all their weapons. And that's the big thing here. Is the big standoff here. Is because I don't know, the Wild West thing didn't work in their favor when they were trying to start this habitat. Because then, you know, they had to arm some people, and then there was some people, I think, back in the day who saw what was to come. They knew we had some problems. They were like, "Ooh, we better put this in writing." So they were letting us know something was to come, and you better hold on to those things. So over here we've got, you know, and when they keep trying to take them and stuff, it's so absurd and it's so obvious and stuff. It's just so clear, so you can see what they're doing. That's the light. That's the hand of God. That's the awakening. So they can't just do it like how they used to do it. That's what they depend on. They're fucking cockroaches. And so they need to work in the dark, you know. So, but, you know, they don't have to. But that's like how the vampire roams. So, anyways, they come up and then they push back on the people. And they go up to people who are all these tribes. Like, you come and land in. And a lot of the tribes had problems that, you know, they didn't continue to pursue. Like, drop it. You know, they're not going to go to war over land when they know the land is not theirs. And they are so much more a part of the land. That is what the big, you know, like, think about in America and Americans and the shallowness and stuff and how people don't feel a connection. But the tribe people have a strong connection. And, but that's why they want to create city people, to pull that connection away, and why they use all these chemicals and interference and whatnot. So, but the people who have remained in their tribes and their cultures and their villages and stuff like that, then, you know, and tried to hold on to their distinct languages and traditions and stuff, that they've been under attack by these other people who want to consume us all under an umbrella system. And so they've gone up and pushed back, and they take these people's lands, and always these people are always around water. And so they push back, and now they've made the water lands are too expensive. And it's like in our nature to feel like we need to be near water, and water is a source of our survival. And so they've pushed all these people back off of the water, and they use violence, they use whatever. And so it's been going on all through this. And it is going on like right in our faces, so strong right now. And when I keep hearing all these different ones, and I keep thinking, why aren't the tribes all coming together? Why haven't all the tribes? Where is all of the heads of all these different tribes? And maybe it is a part of like they don't use the internet like that or something. Or maybe there's just so much stuff going on in each tribe, in each of their own individual places. They don't have time to gather and come together and go up against these people. But we're the glue. We're what holds it all together. We're what pulls it together. It's all of us seeing, all of us being like, oh my God, and that. And we're the adhesive. We're the change. Because they have been out there, struggled and being beaten down and slaughtered, moved back. Like right now, what they're doing on this strip, dude, this is what they've always done, and this is what they've been doing, and they do it to people who are of a darker skin color, and then the people who, this is the part of what is that called? I wrote these words in the part where they say people are not enlightened, where they think that they are you guys are probably saying it. I can hear people yelling it, but I can't see it. But entitled, I got it. Entitled. So that's where this entitlement comes from. Is that if it doesn't affect you, then you don't pay any attention. And so when the attacks on the people who are darker than the people who are lighter, it doesn't affect them. And so they're not paying attention. They don't have any, but this is where we come together and we come in and we see and we notice like, fuck, man, what they're doing in all of these different people who have had their cultures and stuff. They're trying to take them away actively from different groups and stuff. And but they've done this like the Philippines, the Vietnam, like all of these. It's all been these indigenous people living in their little places, doing their fucking life. And then this control factor bulldozes through, wipes things out, takes what's left, and and the way they control with going and making these third-party entities and saying they're associated with this person, associated with that person, but it's really this core of people who they don't see themselves as white people because they know what the white person is. But they see themselves as this otherworldly being. They see themselves above the animals of this world. And so it is like, but what I was saying too is like when you go to when we start moving out to the other land masses outside of the ice wall, you're going to see all of the people continue to look like islanders and of all different kinds of tribal islanders, like it's different from a Pacific Islander, from like the Philippine, like Bali, like all these they're different tribes. Like even over here in the cold islands, over above Canada, over, where they've taken like Alaska, Hawaii, all these places are islands of these tribe people, these indigenous people who are associated with that land. And that's trippy on the micro macro thing of the gradation of the giants and the land and it growing out into the thing and where we are right now. And but they're connected to it. And so when you're birthed into that, like we're birthed through, it's like they're birthed through a whole thing. It's It's like you're birthed into this whole culture, into a whole tribe. But so there's like all of these different native people to all these different native lands. And so if you go outside of the ice wall, it's going to be just like that. You know, you're not going to go around and see fucking, you know, Victoria's Secret, you know, going out to land masses and being like, oh, Victoria's Secret models everywhere. No, that's like a created thing. And so all these different tribes are being pushed back in all these different places, and in a lot of them, they're just actively slaughtering them right in front of us. And, you know, it's kind of like, what is our reaction? And it's, you know, very frustrating as those of us who are moved because our hands are tied. And then, you know, it really brings it home as like how these people's hands have been tied for so long, and how these people, and the people who think that they must be like, you know, like the frequency and stuff, like when you go into these different frequencies, like the Palladians are super high frequency because they're all about love. So you go and you incarnate into that reality. It's all, you know, it's loving, and it's you know, I don't even know all this stuff. I think that's where I'm from, but I don't know until, you know, I'm always telling them, once y'all come here and tell me, as you know, there's been people talking to me for my whole life, and I know that that's a big part of the stuff that's going on here. Is there was a bunch of Palladians that came because it has something to do with all of this stuff that went on here, and that somehow they had some kind of involvement way back or something, and then but then everybody had to let go and let humans, like, let's see what happens. And then but they want to help because it's like, yeah, we're in like a mess. So they want to help. It's like they're karmically attached. Like there's lots of beings out there that are karmically attached. You know, it's about this balance. It's like you interfere with something, you have to put it back in balance. And see, they stay alive. They don't go and incarnate like in this kind of thing. Like this is like coming into a game. And you know, it's like a trunk. You get this whole trunk, and you got to play all those different parts. And so but you know, when some of these other places, in other realms and other realities and stuff, you stay alive for a long fucking time, and you don't age and stuff because you're closer to your light body, and you're it's a higher frequency. And so supposedly the Palladians, and there's a group that are called the Whites. The Whites are supposedly like iridescently white, like super, like the probably where we get those people, albinos. I think that's more like what the Whites look like. That guy, I'm pretty sure on initiation, he also goes through and tells like what all these different people look like. These different, not every single one. Like there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. Just like trying to say all the species that are on just Earth. Like there's so many. So, but some of the bigger groups that we think about or something like the Anunnaki and stuff. The drawings of those ones, I swear to God, they look like Middle Eastern Vikings. And so, you know, I don't know. I don't know which groups, which tribes come from which DNAs and stuff like that. But the I don't think that any of these other beings that we think, like the Palladians or the Whites, it seems like there was some other one that I heard was really white. But like there's some that are blue, like There's some that don't even show their bodies. Like the Anunnaki supposedly have gone so evolved that they aren't in any body. They just stay in energy form. And but they supposedly used to be blue, but the blue avians, and they look like birds. And there's and when I did my one QHHT and I was sitting at this like table with these other beings, it was like a committee. No, it was like yeah, like a committee. Like I was before a committee. And I just remember the one being that was like the head of the thing looked like a vulture. So that's where we have got to get in our minds, like, you know, just because something to us we think of as a bird, well, why do we even think of a bird as not having intelligence to begin with? But then to be sitting across from one that's giant with intelligence and talking to you, then it gives you, you know, that's where we have to get our minds. There's a lot of opening that has to occur for people because people are so stuck, like, in thinking everything is like human and stuff and it looks human. And then plus the whole push on this shallow thing about human. And the and then, you know, but the white person thing, see, I don't think that's DNA from some. I think that's taking something out. I think that's removing something. So it's kind of like they tried to leave us like colorless or something. But that is where, to me, when you go out in the sun goes, oh, they're not going to leave you colorless. Here, my child, have some color, you know, and it activates that melanin inside of us. And so, but I think, you know, that's what they're trying to do. But I think that the people who are in charge, like when you go back to these Rockefellers and these Rothschilds and stuff, and is it Rabbi Finkelstein? God, just go listen to the guy. It's atrocious. That they are from a different group, but not from the high, you know, not like from the high frequency, because there's like the Dracos. I don't even know that the Anunnaki are really warring people, you know, but I don't know. I guess we're going to see. I think we're going to see some of these groups. Supposedly, some of these people are coming. So I don't know. But I think that has also to do with the frequency has to change because it's so dense and heavy here. And most other beings and stuff, they're all higher frequency. Maybe that's why they're all up in the sky, because it's higher frequency or something. Because I think that some of this shit that I have seen, some of this footage and stuff, there's no motherfucking way that it's inside the firmament. We got to be looking outside the firmament on some of this shit. Like even when I've seen some of these people sharing pictures off of telescopes and stuff. And when you start, you know, going into this flat earth and everything's out around us, and I don't know how far out things go, but it's like, fuck, when they're looking way out, and there's Jupiter and stuff, and they're looking up and out. And then I was like, fuck, are they putting, like, it's like the Truman Show, and they've put it like a little sphere, and they've put a, you know, like that's what the fucking firmament is, a goddamn sphere. And then they're doing the sphere over there in Vegas. So again, like, is that something? Is the firmament, you know, is this the sphere? Is it have pictures, and so we think we're looking out past it? Fuck, I don't know. Like some of the stuff is gonna be like, you know, we'll have to see. Maybe it's just everything is just like we're in the ocean, and it's just everything is out and around us. But it's weird how they've been able to, I don't know, just all this stuff with space now is just like, it's just weird. And so someone's like, fuck. Well, all these people kept showing all of these people looking through telescopes and stuff on the eclipse. And I saw some of the coolest fucking pictures of the eclipse. Fuck, dude. There is so much stuff that people have caught. It's kind of like the eclipse was kind of like the universe's way of getting people to look at the sky. Because I can't believe the crazy shit that people have caught. People have caught 3 suns, People have caught the sun that was eclipsing as the sun was coming up. People have caught 3 moons. I saw one that had a whole line of moons. I saw one that it went out and it made the Star of David. All these different lights. It's so trippy. Um, there's just so many different crazy things that are going on. And oh my gosh, so many crazy things. That big puff thing that went out didn't just go over Texas. Now there's people in Arkansas who were showing it. And all the people are like, what the fuck? You know, what just spewed out of this thing. And I saw footage yesterday, and this girl, she was so confused. She kept saying, is this the Starlight System? Which I don't even know what the fuck the Starlight System is. And plus, they've got the blue, their fake shit, like, and if this is just a fucking huge screen, like the fucking sphere. And so, I mean, if they know how to use this screen, you know, because it is a screen, do have the separation. And it's just as, to me, the firmament has gotten so low. The sounds of the planes and shit, just the sounds in the house and stuff. It's like, fuck, am I just totally cranked up or something? Because everything is so fucking loud. And, fuck. So, to me, the firmament is like like in our bodies, we have all this fascia. We have all this, like, this connective tissue and stuff. To me, it's kind of like a hymen. Like a hymen. That is what it's fucking just like. It's like this, the firmament is like this organic, but it's a frequency. But it's like the hymen. It's so, but, you know, it's about to get busted. And we're about to give birth to a whole new existence. And so but all of the different people are gonna look like these people, like, you know, people who don't have color. That is something different. Like, that is, like, as they're trying to mess with the DNA, but see, they still mess with all the different people's DNA, because it's been going on for a long time, whatever they've been doing. And so, man, it's just, there's so much. Look, it's just a fucking giant ass science lab. It's not just one. It's like the same thing as what is coming to our fucking surface. There's lots and lots, and they're everywhere. Like, fuck, they just busted a giant one that's owned by the China that is fucking in, like, Detroit or something. And, you know, that has to do with all of these, the needing all these organs, you know, like, gotta get out there, and it all goes together. You know, and then they think that we are just like their lab rats. They don't give a fuck. And, you know, it's like the lab rats have all created a little life inside their habitat, and they want to keep their little lives. And that's the evolution that they were watching for humans to have occur, and it has occurred. And so we're in this evolution of, you know, us coming in to understand ourselves. And so you have all these people, though, who are so, you know, I mean, even when they try and go into the spiritual aspect of life, it gets under this control and this hierarchy. It's ridiculous. And, but that woman, that's what was popping back into my head, is that woman, she was saying about that there was going to be a whole bunch of people who were going to be leaving, you know, and she wasn't trying to scare anybody, but it was going to have to do with, you know, that they just weren't keeping up. You have to be, what she was saying was not actively healing, not being sovereign. She said it is, it was a certain thing, though. The same things are what I've been saying. The same things are what all of the things I've been saying. Is it's a certain way, a certain mindset. It's a certain way of looking at things. And it's about you taking responsibility for yourself. it's, becoming sovereign, and you have to do a lot of healing in order to do that. And so she was saying it's going to be the people who choose not to do that, they're going to all leave. And anybody who's really spiritual also knows that, that they're all leaving because they want to leave. Nothing happens to us like that is something that you're told, that you believe. That's a belief, but that's not real. Your soul goes where it wants to go, and it is in control. There's something burning my throat right now so bad, like I feel like I've just been gassed or something. That happens so much out here. Sometimes I think my throat is oh fuck, that hurts. And God, weird shit keeps happening. That happens a lot. And then it was the same thing when my eyes started becoming so raw. My throat is became sensitive. So I feel like I can sense something that other people can't sense, because I feel the effects of it, which I don't know what that is. God, that hurt. It really hurts. And it was like coming like gradual, where it started like burning, and I'm thinking, what's going on in my throat? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it felt like it was like on fire. God, that hurt. So anyways, it has to do with, maybe they don't want me to talk about this. Has to do with, so, like I said, it will be the people who are low vibration, the people who don't want to work on themselves, the people who just want to focus on being shallow and, just get out to the bar, get drunk every Friday night and stuff, that aren't going deeper. And that doesn't mean that, nobody can ever go out, because that's a whole thing too. It's like, as you're going through all this of, coming to terms with like, I've got to live. Like, I appreciate life and I love life, but I got to also live it. And so there's, a lot going on, and it's individual, and you got to remember you have your individual experiences. So whatever you're going through is what you're supposed to go through. So you, that's you tuning into you. But one thing I was thinking about is, because I had said, I've been saying it for a long while, is that even people where people think, oh, well, they're not awake, but they are awake to certain things. They're looking at things. They're confirmation. They're trying to heal. They're trying to work on themselves. And so they are, they're still going in that direction of raising their vibration. See, people are all stuck on, because somebody's not awake to this or that means that they're lower vibration. But there's a lot of people who are awake, but they're low vibration because the way they treat other people. And so, that will be revealed to them. I don't know how this is going to go down. I mean, this is definitely, to me, it definitely seems that we're headed to this, some sort of incident. Something's going to go down. And tons of people are going to be gone. And I still don't know if that means it's going to be spread out through all around the whole world, or if it's going to be certain whole giant groups, like a whole country, like all of India, or all of, I don't know, because I still think that there's groups that are here together like that. And so, we'll have to see. I'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, how they kept saying it was going to be like, in a room, there could be 2 people and one will be gone. So it seems like it's going to be spread pretty evenly. But when you think about here, then you think about like how many people are, just out there doing a bunch of crimes, doing a bunch of bad stuff, because the energy's in the air and they're being fed by that energy. And, but there's learning stuff for the soul when the soul gets over, because the soul gets to see. So they get over to their life review and they get to see the error of their ways. You always get to see the error of your ways. You always get but that's the whole thing, is where everybody's trying to fix stuff. Even the Palladians are trying to fix shit that they did fucking however long ago here. It's just the way it is. Like, your soul is like bound. That's the karmic attachment. You've always got to be putting stuff in balance. I guess that's why I probably know for sure that what they show me is really, because like, they showed me the stuff from the past. Like, they wouldn't show me this stuff. Why would they show me stuff that wasn't going to be? What would be the point of that? They would be showing me what was going to be. Like, I'm not making shit up in my own head. Like, they're showing me shit. They're telling me shit. They have the whole fucking time. So, or my whole life. So, but, and your inner knowing, like, there's certain things that I just know, no matter how crazy they sound. But it's weird how it will fuck with you. The more something doesn't go on, the more that challenges your inner knowing. So there is a lot of strength building going on throughout this experience, I'll tell you that. And but anyways, so this woman was also saying that something's about to go down, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people are going to leave. But don't be sad and upset, because they want to. They want to do that. This isn't like you're not being forced. That's what people got to see. This is the souls going in and out. I mean, there's nobody who wants to be trapped here. And then we all get so sad when somebody leaves, like it's a punishment. It's like, it's strange. Like, we got to really, work on this, like, come to some sort of rational realization about this situation, as we should be celebrating. Like, fuck yeah, they did it. They did what they came here to do. And so they completed it. It's exciting. And, we got to always remember, we're going to see everybody again. We have a connection, even though it's like you've got, that's so true. It's like you got the viewfinder on, but you forgot you have it on. And you think, like, this is what's really happening. It's like, no, take the fucking viewfinder off. And so that's what we got to get more into, is remembering we just got to take off the viewfinder. And when you take off the viewfinder, your people are all around you. So you just have the viewfinder on. But the viewfinder has a purpose. And there's a point to it. You're expanding the universe. Like, you're doing something good. So there's, a purpose to focus on your experience and to go through it and to give it all of the acknowledgement, necessary. If you're in for the 3D experience, go in for the 3D experience. But, we're going to see where this is going to split apart, though. And, and like that Anunnaki book thing said, is that the people who aren't going to go are going to be the people who are really shallow. The people who think, like, it's more important for their dog to have a Gucci dog collar than it is for little kids to have food. And so those kind of people, like, probably the Kardashians probably won't be there, as probably what I'm thinking. Well, we'll see, though. I mean, that one, it seems like she's trying to get her shit together, maybe. I don't fucking know. But their energy that they've been putting out, it's all so shallow and so fake. And so all of these people, I mean, just these people who just, the whole thing, just want to be an influencer. Don't give a shit about anything going on in the world. Just everybody listen. Because, like, why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like I'm, I feel like what I'm trying to do, I don't know, it's like being an influencer, I guess, trying to influence people to expand their consciousness, to think for themselves, take better care of themselves, to not trust certain entities, and to follow the money, and to see it's all about the bottom dollar, and this hierarchy, and this dog eat dog, and all of the, but like that guy, that California guy who zips around all night live. There's a lot of people that do this. Like a lot of people in New York go live, like tour guide, and they make money off of it doing it online on like TikTok and shit. But then one guy the other night, what I saw, and I don't know in his true heart of hearts, he's putting on a persona, just being like, yeah, it's so crazy. And basically, everybody's so shallow and shit there that they don't care. It's just like they feed off of the frenzy. And that's why, man, I'm telling you, God, it just makes so much sense. California is about to be, in America, there's going to be, I think, a few different places. And there's going to be in big cities, for sure, where there's going to be the biggest amount of the trauma is going to go on. And it can be, in some battles and stuff. There is going to be a huge amount of people. I think this earthquake thing is building up. I think there's going to be, but that shallowness, it's the shallow, not giving a fuck. But there is, that doesn't mean that that's what that soul is. Just because that's what the role they're playing or the experience they're feeling or whatever. That doesn't mean who they are. It's because someone is like totally shallow and shit in this life. That doesn't mean at their core that they are, but it can be that they are here learning about how to be deeper. Like, I don't know. Every soul is its own thing. Every soul is its own entity. Every soul is its own source of information. It's its own receiver, its own processor, so, I mean, fuck, it's impossible to know anyone to the depth of what, I think the more that we go into these soul connections, because that's what we're going into. And what was it I just saw somebody was talking about? Why are all these relationships breaking up during this time? And this person, I think it was a psychologist or something, and they were saying, what were they saying? Because it was like, to me, it seemed like it was partly right, but it was way too, it's way bigger than that. It's way deeper than that. It's about alignment. It's about balance. It's about seeing, and we're all seeing the veil, the viewfinder, it's becoming more clear, and we don't have any choice. It's like our soul is doing it. Like, people don't have any choice. People are going to awaken. It's not like they have a choice, and they're going to awaken when they're supposed to. And their lessons, like all these people who are going to awaken on this other side from this big trauma that's going to happen, that's what I think. That is what's going to wake people up. Is this big trauma is going to happen. And that is going to be this like big awakening thing. And then that would be the land mass was already changing. Fuck, I don't know how this is all going to go together. I just don't know. I mean, we've got shit ahead of us. There's going to be changes in the land mass. It's already changing. I watched David Wilcock for a minute the other day, and then some of the stuff he was saying, I was like, oh man, I'm not in alignment with him really anymore. And I wonder the other day when I started to watch, I felt weird. And then, and I couldn't quit looking at his hair. And then, so then I saw he was going live yesterday. So I was like, oh, I'll go in and watch, and see. And then he started talking and saying things. I was like, oh, we're kind of on two different branches at this point. Because he's all about religion and like some of the stuff like he was saying. I was like, oh, I don't believe that. So anyways, we all have to come up with our own beliefs, what we believe, what feels right to us, what we think. So, and this is what everything we're going through And it is to help us connect to ourselves. But you don't have any choice to be pushed into a certain direction, to question yourself, to see yourself, to understand yourself. And so whatever's going to happen, the landmass is going to be changing. We're going to lose a huge, huge amount of people. Like half the people on the planet are going to be gone. And, I mean, when you run the numbers, then I think most of us think like, fuck, we're going to lose some people here. And I don't want to give energy to some conversations that I've had, but, it's going to be hard. Even knowing, I don't want to lose a bunch of people. So, it's hard. It's going to be, but that's the thing where I said, like, the ones of us who are stand for this, we are going, we're going on this as like over the stagecoach or whatever it is. We're taking the long rocky route. We're going the hard way. We're going the what is that called? We're going the scenic route. We're taking the scenic route into the age of Aquarius. It's gonna be rough. So it's gonna be hard. Because the people who are gonna be leaving real quick, they're taking a different way. And some of them, they may not be going there. They may be going home. They're going where they're supposed to be going now. It's their existence. So they've got somewhere else to be. So they're going to go where they got to go. And that is an important thing, is why we have to be so present and in the moment with the people, in our orbit that are close to us and stuff, because it really is, it is a part of this, the significance of this game, the impact is the significance of loss of time, and what does it mean, and how do we use it, and how do we spend the time with our people. And I'm seeing these commercials, it must be on YouTube or something, where they keep having these commercials like nursing homes, it's all meds and lock up your old people. And just thinking about how that was such a push in America, because, and I don't know in some of the other countries that they've had a hold on, Australia, England, Canada and stuff, but I know in a lot of smaller nations and smaller places that they, especially if you go into where it still is like villages and tribes and stuff like that, they would never, ever go take an elder and go lock them up for someone else to take care of till they died. That's so disrespectful. But it is such a way that they've got it into our culture. And so there's so many things that have to break away. But see, it's like your own soul inside of you going like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, no, I gotta do, so it's each of us. But that is the part that is moving us through. Those are the steps that we're taking in our own development to move us towards our enlightenment. And so we're, actively moving in that direction. But there's people who they're like spinning around. It is kind of like spinning out. Like they don't even know. And then it's like the more they want to focus on the artificial. It's so weird how it's like sweeping through so much right now too. Like, fuck, people who I didn't even think of as being super shallow and superficial and shit. It's just like, fuck, man. It's so crazy. But that is like this big purge, it's this big letting all of this nasty energy out. It was like so much toxic. Is the real energy, the real, what we're moving into. Yeah, it's just because we're in this transitional period. Because what was right and real for one thing is not going to be right and real for the next thing. It's a big change. It's a big jump. But those of us who are going on this endeavor, on this stagecoach ride, the scenic route, then we are, we got to come across, we got to meet the challenges. We got to come over the obstacles. We got to do what we got to do. And in order for that to occur, we're creating this new existence, this new way of being. And so it's, it's magnificent, because it's something so beautiful is going to come from something so horrible, but we still got to go through the horrible thing. That's the thing. And that's why, to me, I just wish it would just hurry up and get over with, because it's just like it drags. Like, it's like, it's inevitable. We have no choice about it. It's going to happen, and we can't do anything about it. But the way they drag it out, it's like they're skinning us alive, man. It's like, fuck. It's like you yearn, just fucking put me out of my goddamn misery. Fucking get this over with. Do it. And, but, everything has its timing. Everything is by timing. And I'm sure, once that it all goes, then, there's a lot of us will be just kicking ourselves. Oh, I should have went over there. I should have went and spent more time with that person and stuff. I mean, my mom is even saying she's going to rapture, and I know that trying to get over the religion part, like, it's so ingrained into her psyche. And I don't know in this life if she's come, if she was here to get over that, or if she's here to just, none of us know. And it's weird, because there's a lot of, when things start coming into your head, like the different things, like they're always giving us signs, they're always telling us things. Ugh. But anyways, there's lots of people who are feeling like this is about to go down, like this is about to, like that woman saying that she had to, hurry up and tell. There's all these people that are like, I have to hurry up and tell you what I had seen last night in a dream. And that they all, are expecting this big thing to happen and half the people to be gone. And, so when you think about that and the awakened people, because not everybody is at this level, like what I keep saying is that, there's so many levels, and there's so many people who think they're awake, who I don't think they're awake at all. And, the spiritual people, they just got all an ego. They think, going and doing a bunch of fucking ayahuasca or something, then you have a spiritual experience, you realize you're spiritual, and that's it. Like, no, so living your life through a certain perspective, and it's the way you encounter your existence. And so, but so there's tons of people in all these different groups that think they're awake, that aren't awake all the way, but they're still working on themselves, they're still thinking in a certain direction. And so that's the thing. So even the people who who aren't awake, but that they're still working on themselves, they're still thinking about, like, they want to work on changing their jobs, they want to change houses, like they're actively trying to improve their lives. And I bet, on one level you could say, going and stealing a TV is trying to improve their life. It's all becomes on someone's, what's in their heart. And we don't know what's inside everybody's heart. We don't know what's inside. It's like, you can't look at somebody and know their DNA. You can't know their structure. You can't know what makes them who they are. You can look at them and you can see some physical representation of themselves. But the crazy thing is the physical representation of themselves is for their own viewing, so that they can understand themselves, so that they can work on the things that they need to work on. And so it's so crazy, because it's so different than how we, pursue, pursue relationships, pursue people. Lots of people think, well, I just want to have a bunch of good-looking friends. It's like, but what if your good-looking friends are all shallow and superficial and talk down to each other and create drama? Are they really worth having? Maybe, people with substance, people that have a depth to their character, people have integrity. So anyways, but we'll see. So if that is the thing, and this has been, our awakening, building us up, and triggering us to want to heal, triggering us to want to do better. And then this big thing is going to happen. It's going to be a whole bunch of people are going to go. But then that's when all the healing starts. So for all the people who are the healers and all of those kinds of people, the people who feel motivated, people who have saved themselves, and now they're going to see, that there's going to be a lot of people that need that motivation, need to hear your story, need to understand how you did it, because everybody's just been so mind trapped and beat down. And then they're going to be just like when I was knocked off the merry-go-round. I'm laying down there with my knees all skinned up, and I'm just laying there going like, what just happened? What is going on in the world? What is happening to me? And then all I could see was just these cycles. And I was just like, oh my God, I have been riding the same fucking cycles. And so everybody gets that like moment of reality check to see. And, that's what's going to happen. And that's what starts the healing. And so with all the people who are going to be getting like, it's like they're queuing up for the healing. Like if you are working towards, working on yourself, working on your own relationships, you've got things to share with other people, because there's going to be so many people who are starting from 0 point. And they're going to be so confused, and they're going to be so much in need for, just make it make sense. Throw a preserver. The thing is you can't save anybody. That's a lesson for the people who have learned to save themselves. Is you've got to understand that is the point. These people get to learn to save themselves. That's how you become somebody who falls in love with yourself, because you learn how to save yourself. So everybody gets these opportunities to save themselves. So you can't go in and rescue everybody. You can't go in and save somebody. You have got to stand back and allow them to save themselves. So it's a part of your learning as well. But it is a role model. It is sharing your experiences. But you have to find your balances to not feel, take on someone else's burden, take on someone else's healing. And that's another weird thing about all these life coaches out there. Why would you be taking on everybody else's stuff? Like that's a true spiritual connection, philosophy, being as, there's the sovereignty of self, of one's own decisions, one's own consequences, one's own growth. So it's all about you. It's about you developing you. So, I don't know. All these people are all in ego. And they think they're better than other people and smarter than other people and more connected or whatever. All their different things. But each person has to go through their own, their own experience of the questions and the answers and the awareness and the perspective and all of that in this transitional period. And so the people who, can't meet the challenges or don't want to or whatever, they're going to be the ones who are all going to go. And so this can be, this can be their huge landmass changes right away. Maybe we are about to have this big earthquake over here on the West Coast. And it's going to start this, the evacuation, the movement, it's got to be right on the edge. I mean, there's no way that this could just go on and on and on. Like, there's no way. Like, I don't even know how they've kept it going this long. This just blows my mind. And that I've been saying the same fucking thing for 2 goddamn years. Like, I couldn't believe that they could keep it going all the way back then. Like, each time that it goes on, each time I wake up in the morning, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Groundhog Day? God damn. It's like, fuck, dude. But, it's all going to go. It's all going to blow up in their faces. And then the people who are meant to go are going to go, and then we're going to start the road ahead towards, healing and developing and becoming a better, more pure society. And that is when, we're going to have these other beings that'll be coming and stuff. That's when, we may have beings that'll come from somewhere else and, interact with us, and we know them, that we're family members with them, and they are just incarnated somewhere else. But we come from the same, like, core soul groups and stuff. Or, we've got our bodies laying back in our beds, and we're here in this experience, and they're coming to communicate with us. So there's going to be all sorts of different things. I think some of the people who are being, what is that called? When they take them up into their ships. I think that is like connecting with them. Like that guy who had that dream the other day when they were showing him around and stuff. I think it was them connecting with him because he's a part of their group. It's just a lot of people who are a part of different groups. They just don't remember, what they just don't remember. And so, they're going through their remembering. They're going through their awakening so that they can remember. So, anyways, there's so much stuff, and there's so much fucking horrible trauma. God. And the fuck, all the shit on the kids and stuff. And it has to do with humanity and humanity's lessons, and and we gotta look at all this attack on the kids. And honestly, think about it. Parents would get up in the morning, yell at their kids, give them some garbage cereal out of a fucking box of poison, set them out, for the schools to come and take care of them and raise them. Fuck, we've been as disrespectful to kids as we've been to everything, to all the animals, to the planet. And so, there's a lot of things that, they're going to be a smack. How do you like that? Well, how do you like that? How's that feel? Because it's when something matters, is when it makes sense, is when it hits you. That's when it, affects you, when it makes change. So we have to have all of that experience to go through. And, it's just hard. So sad. It's so traumatic. Fuck. There's cute little kids over there in the strip. Now they don't have any. And besides, they're just going in fucking slaughter, like, fuck. And then telling them to fucking evacuate, and then fucking... it was a huge slaughter on that one. That was the true thing. That really happened. That girl that I saw who was doing that video, who was all upset, that really did happen. Supposedly, like, we have to really get it in our heads. If we're not there and we're not witnessing something, then, how much emotion are you going to give it? Like, if it's not, if it's something you don't know for a fact, and you're sitting there giving all your emotion of being upset about something that you don't even know is a fact. So we've got to mind our own energy. We've got to see. And it is, it's a big draw on our compassion, especially when it's with kids, because we think of them as being just so, like, they don't even know what's going on and stuff. But, I think it's a part of kids are just still so connected to themselves. They're still in that enjoyment phase of life, and they aren't, but they aren't really, they're really they're developed souls. They're not, scared little kids, even though that's the vehicle that we are witnessing for the experience, but it's not the actual soul. It's a different soul driving us, like catfishing us. We're all being catfished all the time. Is that the soul is not the exterior doesn't always represent. So, anyways, she yesterday, I don't know. I swear to God, they're just dumb. It's just raining on us. The weird colors, the just weird tone, just the whole fucking thing. They're just nonstop poisonous. And then she wouldn't eat last night, and something is hurting her, like back by her tail. I gotta look it up more about, because her tail is like, fuck, I don't know. It has weight to it for sure. I mean, if it hits you, it can give you a black eye. And she's always happy. That fucking thing is always slamming, 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 slamming. That's when you hear the bells going crazy, that's her tail. Because she'll go up and she'll hit him with her face, and then she'll turn around to like see when I'm coming, and her tail will go up, and she'll just hit the bell, bam, 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 bam. And first thing in the morning, as soon as she sees my movement, her tail will start going. She's just the happiest thing. But something back there, right where her tail is connected, like if I start rubbing right there where her tail connects right to her back, you know, where her spine goes. Like, I don't even know how their spine goes, like where, but she like turns real weird, and then she starts doing this weird tongue thing, like, you know, like somebody's pushing on a real hot, you know. And then she was running the other day, and she turned her tail real weird and was like holding her tail to the side and running kind of. So something back there is bothering her, and I know she's got all that problems with her hips and stuff. I was like, bug, if you do have like a pinched nerve in your back or your hip, because she's always walking funny because of her hips. So I think she gets like pinched nerves and stuff like that. But I was like, ugh, that tail is so heavy and it's always moving. That would be like, ugh, so hard if you had a pinched nerve right above there. So I don't know. I just keep giving her boron and her whatever, glucosamine, all that kind of stuff. But I can always tell when she's having more pain too, because I will start going through the RSO. Because sometimes she won't take any at all. And she'll always let me know. Like if I give her something and she turns her head like, fuck no, I don't want that. So, man, I'm telling you, everything is so much smarter than, it's like people just don't give it the time of day. They don't get to know their dogs, what their dog wants and what their dog's trying to say and what their dog is, they don't have time or patience. Like they don't have time or patience for their kids. They don't have time or patience for each other. That's another reason why relationships are breaking too. It's all built on a faulty foundation. Everything has been built on a faulty foundation. And so we've got to become strong builders. We got to get back to being craftsmen, you know, craftsmen of our own psyches, of our own emotional state, of our own stability, of our own existence. That's the creation of the villages and the communities, and then coming together in unity. And see, all of these horrible, horrible things happening is what is pulling people together. People who don't agree with each other, who can all come together on certain things. And, you know, a lot of little people being slaughtered is something that we all come together on. So it's like, you know, so that same thing is like a stuff that is super horrible, and we don't want to go through that experience, but we have to go through the experience because we have to get to the outcome, and there's no other way. It's like we want to get to that side of the lake, but the only way through is through. We have to go through to get there. So all of the stuff that we're experiencing, we have to go through to get where we want to go. And it's like it's written. There's nothing else. Like, it's just the way it is. So it's coming to peace. And you come to peace through your spirit, because you know that this is much bigger than this, what we envision, what we think is going on here, from our physical experience, from our physical eyes. And but you know, the more that you start to understand that, and the more you even understand that that's not even real. None of it's real. None of it's real. Just nothing's real. Just, I'm not even real. I'm just, I'm a figment of your imagination. I'm somebody you just like to get up and, I mean, you know what? It trips me out too, is like, I swear to God, some of those tarot card readers, because they pop up all the time on TikTok for me. And some of them, they are so specific where I am like, fuck, are they, like, is it really that they are just saying what I need to hear? And that somebody else hears something totally different when they hear them? Like, it's weird. It's weird. So, anyways, we'll see what today brings. It's a Monday. It's another start of another week. Like, fuck, I hope there's some fucking banks closing down or something. I swear to God, I heard last week fucking stock was going up on something. But whatever it's going to do, it's going to fucking crash. And maybe that is, I don't know. It's all part of this game. It's all part of this show. But the debt calculator thing, the debt counter thing, it's got a show going on its own. Somebody just did a whole little montage of all of the things. I guess you can just go on each day and look. But it is itself put up a message and said to go buy silver. And it's cleared out and gone zero and stuff. So there's about to be some changes. However, they fucking drag this shit out. You just got to remember that the whatever, I think the quantum computer came up with this wonderful way it was going to wake up the most amount of people, the most productive thing, how it would go down, I guess. So anyways, but plus there's things that are out of our control. That's the thing. It's like we got so much going on here. There's things that are natural occurrences, or but then we also have them interfering with earthquakes and shit. Like, fuck, it's crazy. So anyways, you just got to continue, to stay true to you, stay strong, stay vigilant in your area, and keep doing your mantras and stuff of like, reminding yourself you're right where you're supposed to be. Everything's okay. Nobody can hurt you. Nothing can hurt you. And just keep trying to reel your mind into your growth, what you can do to make changes, positive changes in your life, to improve your relationships, because those are all the things that those are the things that pull you into the age of Aquarius. But yeah, I do think that there's the shallowness. It's gonna evacuate the building soon. So we'll see how it goes. Just stay strong and stay vigilant, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.